Hello and welcome to the How Could You Forget podcast, a podcast where your hosts Gurdon, Lexi, and Eric come together and learn about a topic that maybe you'd forgotten about, never heard about, or it's simply too good to forget. As we all know, the holiday season just passed, and I wanted to bring you all to a very, very nice place. My two best friends, Lexi and Eric, we're going on this adventure together, okay? So I bought us all tickets to go to Sweden and enjoy the lovely views and also to commit crimes.
Oh.
And I would love to bring you all along on this journey.
Okay.
As we're going to commit arson. It's very simple.
Who needs a fireplace for Christmas, honestly?
That's kind of how I'm feeling. And since we're going to be in Sweden, we have to make sure it's nice and warm.
Yes.
So we can just do what we need to do, make it out, and we're going to go burn down a 40-foot goat.
like an actual, like I'm assuming it's not a, is it a real goat?
It's not made of goat parts, if you guys are wondering.
It's not like goat meat.
Okay.
It's not goat meat. It's going to be made entirely of straw, the most burnable material that you can possibly think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And are we going to build this goat, or are we just like taking someone else's?
It's already built. A bunch
In
of
Minecraft?
Swedes.
That's convenient.
A bunch of Swedes already put it together for us. I hope that's not a slur.
Also, Lexi, I was actually, it's a good thing you brought Minecraft, because when Gurdon first brought up Sweden, I was going to be like, oh, Minecraft land? They made Minecraft real?
They made Minecraft.
They made Minecraft in Minecraft?
So crazy. Anyway, arson. Yeah, go on.
Anyway, arson.
Oh my god.
So that's where I'm taking you all today, and I'm taking along the audience today. Is
It's an expensive trip here.
It's fine. The company will pay for it.
Yeah, the company. You know, how could you forget Inc? That'll pay for it.
Oh, all right.
How could you forget LLC?
LLC, yeah.
All right.
But how could you forget the giant goat that keeps burning down? This topic was suggested by open_mind8617 on YouTube. Thank you very much for the recommendation. And if you would like to recommend your own cool topic that you can't forget or you want to share with the world, you can comment down below and we may just cover your topic in an upcoming video. But as I mentioned earlier, it's past the holiday season, but after learning about this topic from Open Mind on YouTube, I did the quickest cursory research and realized that we had to do an episode on this goat. It's not a normal goat.
No.
I think we learned that pretty quickly.
You don't
Yes,
say.
a 40-foot
Goats probably
goat.
don't grow that big. In my experience, anyway. Maybe
Unless
it's
you
different
feed
in
them
Sweden.
fertilizer, then they grow really big.
Oh.
That's a secret, Lex, if you didn't know. If you feed a goat fertilizer, it's like when you feed a mouse a cookie, but
Little
it just
trade
grows.
secret.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
This is not a normal goat. But they do fight it with fire. This giant...
Is the goat like a mecha or something? Like, why they gotta fight the goat?
Well...
Transformers, goats.
The people in Sweden don't want them to fight the goat.
Who is them? Police?
Sorry, yeah, I just realized.
Okay, so
the them is so ominous.
If the people...
Well, we're the ones committing the arson, right? So,
yeah, we're going to
this angle. Yeah.
I was gonna say, because if the people of Sweden have the goat and they're not the ones doing it, then what? Then who is it? Like foreign invaders? I don't understand.
No, it's not foreign invaders. It's not the Mongolian Legion. It's just people that really see the most burnable material on Earth in a very cool-looking fire, and they let the intrusive thoughts win every single time.
The masculine desire to build a 40-foot goat out of straw and light it on fire.
Burn it down.
So they saw Burning Man and they go, yeah, but what if goat?
What if goat, though?
Burning goat.
Burning goat, yes.
It's my new festival.
This thing is called and I have to say this correctly, the word is spelled Gavle, but it is not pronounced at all like that. It's pronounced Yevle. It's the Yevle goat, and it's very real. But
IKEA.
This is based off of one YouTube video when I found the pronunciation and somebody corrected their pronunciation in the video. So I'm going off the correction, not the video that didn't have a good like ratio. But this goat, I had a picture of it saved, and I think I actually have I have a live stream for you guys to pull up if you guys want. of the goat, and it's with lo-fi Christmas music over it. But you can currently watch the 2024
Oh my
Yevla
goodness.
goat. You can
What?
pull up the
I'm gonna start. Hold on. I'm gonna start like a recording of this so viewers can see what I'm like what we're looking at in real time.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this music is so
It's
cozy.
so good. The entire time I was researching last night, I had the stream pulled up and I was just watching it. But the chat is actively trying to find a way to burn down the goat. And
Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, wait. Is that why it's all centered around the goat?
so no, I had to do even more research on that. So I mentioned we're going to Sweden,
okay.
right? And in Sweden
Okay.
there are there's not anti-privacy, but privacy laws. And in Sweden, passerbys must be asked to be live streamed in any fashion at all. And so they just put up a giant censor bar over where the quote public would be, so that way they're not breaking any privacy laws in Sweden.
Oh, that's smart, actually.
It's extremely smart. It looks really weird. 'Cause
Yeah, it looks like maybe there's some like penis graffiti to the side or something like that.
Who knows?
you know, penis graffiti with the giant goat. It's
Well, I
normal.
mean, if it was in the middle of like a city, like by a wall or something, I could see somebody trying to graffiti like boobs or a penis so that they could be funny.
Funny boob goat. Yes. honey.
Yeah.
Just draw like one there,
this-
one there. Perfect.
Yes, but this live stream that I just sent you to my two co-hosts is huge. It stands about 42 and a half feet tall.
If the live stream's huge or the goat?
The goat itself is huge,
Oh,
not the
okay.
live stream. Yes, the
I was
live
like, there
stream
was
is
only-
42 feet tall. Yeah.
I was like, there's only 400 people on the live stream right now. Like, that's...
No, but it is 42 and a half feet tall, or if you're not in America, it's 13 meters tall. It is a huge goat for those that are watching or listening to the audio format, and it is made entirely out of straw in the style of a Yule goat, which is a normal thing that people in Scandinavian countries do, where they will take straw and like tie it up into little bushels and make a cute little goat out of it. It's very cute. You'll see what a normal Yule goat would look like right now. But this one is 40 feet tall as long as it survives.
That's not ominous at all.
It's not ominous, but it's going to get more ominous here shortly. You might have heard of this story for the simple fact that this goat, since its creation in 1966, so it's been around for over 50 years, has been a yearly tradition, but has only remained undamaged 16 of the last 58 years, and mostly from arson.
Oh.
All right.
Why
Well,
do they keep doing this?
Oh, we're going to get into that. But
For funnies.
for very big funnies. And one of the parts that's my favorite is that there is a fire department extremely close by to where the goat is at.
Oh my god.
But people just really like lighting this thing on fire.
Okay, so I have a question. Which came first, the goat or the fire department?
Fire department came first.
Okay.
Because it'd be amazing if they built a goat in like a location like
no fire
the same
department.
place, like every year, same place, and people just kept lighting it on fire so much they built a new fire
Yeah.
department.
They
just
introduced
right
the fire department.
That wouldn't be the craziest thing. That's
Not
what I
at
wanted to
all.
know.
that would be amazing. But
So they make this goat, and the story ends up being more of a story of ways that people just creatively attempt to crush, burn, and topple over this goat made of the most burnable straw that you can imagine. And the arms race that the local government puts forth every year to stop people from lighting the most enticing bundle of straw an arsonist could ever lay their eyes upon. So, let me go ahead and jump in and tell you the history and the timeline of these extremely burnable straw goats and a list of all the ways that they've died or not. Because if the list was simply every single year the town gets together and just burns it down, this would not be interesting. These are not legally sanctioned burnings. These are not like, let's all get together and burn the goat. Let's all get together
I
and...
didn't get the impression that it was like, on this day, we're going to have a ceremonial burning for the new
No,
year.
these are
no.
very illegal burnings that if you were to do it right now, you can get up to 6 months in jail and a fine of $100,000
God.
Swedish krona. So you can be jailed for a rather long time.
Why
for
don't they
doing
put a
this.
glass box over the goat?
Lexi, don't get ahead of my story.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I was reminded of the Simpsons movie where they just put a dome over the town.
Also, I just want to point out, so like half a year in prison and 100,000 Swedish krona is about 9,000 US dollars. So
So if you have
That's-
if
6
you
months
have a
to
bit
kill,
of money and time to spare,
That sucks. Yeah, but then you're a felon. Like, then that's on
but
your
you're a
record.
Swedish felon.
felon schmelon, whatever.
Well,
and you're a
I
Swedish
mean,
felon, so it's like it won't matter here in America.
I imagine that's very different. So, okay.
Yeah, I mean, unless you get like extradite or something, but you know,
Oh,
it's fine,
absolutely.
probably. All right.
But this is all the information is directly from the visitjavla.se website under the tab called, quote, The Fate, with a drawing of the goat almost like a page from Slender Man in the background, which is the
Oh,
most
God.
ominous thing I've personally ever seen on a tourism website. But we're already here. I will send it. Maybe it's just my own thing knowing what happens to this goat. I will put it in the chat for
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
it's right
It looks
there.
like a
Oh,
Trojan
that
horse.
is ominous.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
Like they're
ominous.
gonna infiltrate somewhere with this goat.
They're infiltrating
Oh
the
my
gates of
gosh.
hell because they're going to burn the goat.
Oh my
But-
god.
But here's the very small backstory of the Javla goat, which is back in 1966 in the town of Javla. They're not actually sure, but one of 3 people got the idea that they wanted to make the world's largest Yule goat to attract like tourists and stuff like that.
Oh,
It was-
okay. So Yule goats, like the small
They're
normal
very small.
size, but the normal sized Yule goats, that dates back like a long time, right?
Yes, yes. That's,
Oh, okay.
I don't know the exact time, but like when you like,
Way longer than 1966. That's
Absolutely,
all
yes.
Yeah, that's all I need to know.
but it was either an advertising man named Stig, a TV trader named Harry, or a lady named Inga, whose family had previously created the world's largest skis as well as the world's largest chair. So, I I personally,
Really got a
Um,
knack for making very large things, I guess.
I know.
My money's on Inga.
Most people think that it was Stig because he was an advertising person and then came together with the other 2, but they all had a meeting someday in 1966 with the ideas of ways to help boost tourism to the area. But the minutes for the meeting have been lost, and so we don't actually know who
Oh.
came up with the initial idea. But by December 1st of the same year, 1966, after an investment of 10,000 Swedish krona, the 3-ton Javla goat was born. Yes, it's 3 tons.
Oh my god.
And
Do
it
they
lived
have
lot
to
of
get
straw.
a crane?
I think there's video footage of them putting it up each year. Most of the time they use like a truck that has like a small crane on it, but
Wow.
I don't think they used a full crane. But it lived a very long and happy life for about a month until New Year's Eve when some fellow got...
Bro, how is that long?
That's the joke on it. From December 1st until New Year's Eve when some fellow got the idea to light the beautifully enticing tinderbox of a goat on fire at midnight to celebrate New Year's. So he burned
Yay!
he burned it down at exactly midnight, like, yay, New Year's, and just burned this goat.
You
Eventually-
don't do that with normal Yule goats, though, do you?
No!
I mean, I
Okay.
guess you could if you wanted, but it's not. It's not
Right,
as
but
fun.
like, if the tradition was that you burned your little tiny Yule goat at the end, I might make more of a connection of, oh, maybe he thought that's what you're supposed to do. But
It is
I guess
straw,
not.
so I mean, you could probably break it apart and use it for tinder or something similar, but no, I think most of the time they're just supposed to, like, look cute and, like, look like, hey, holiday and
Right.
festive. But eventually the perpetrator was found and charged with vandalism. The next year and the ones after that, in 1967 and 1968, the Javla goat actually did get to live the entire Christmas season and be a nice unburned giant goat for all to enjoy. And here's where I
Okay.
will also include additions that the city did to try to curtail anyone damaging the goat, as the measures that Javla would take to stop people from burning the goat down get wild, and then people's ways to fight back against it are also wild.
Oh, yeah, I
So-
can imagine.
In 1968, they put up a fence to deter visitors from attempting to vandalize it. And in 1969, the inside of the goat was protected with chicken wire netting.
Oh, okay.
But chicken wire netting did not help because in 1969, the goat burned down again. So,
Okay, so we got 2 burn downs so far.
2 burn downs, 2 survivals. The one at 69 also happened on New Year's Eve. But that's about all we know about that one, was that it was just burned down. But then here's where the goat had a very rough streak, very long streak of not surviving for very long. In 1970, the goat was put up, and within 6 hours of the goat being put up, two very drunk teenagers, and the website made very sure that it was very drunk teenagers burned down the goat.
6 hours, dude. Come on.
Not even like a full 24 hours. Just like,
not even a full day.
Now I see why you said that the other one that survived a month lived a long life. If the other one that got burned was 6 hours.
See? It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
So eventually the town asked the public for contributions to be able to build a second goat, and they got enough donations, but they decided to make the second goat out of reeds, like lake reeds for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just another thing that the website mentioned.
are those like less flammable? Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know what lake reeds look like.
Maybe they just wanted to recycle. Like maybe they had a lot of reeds from that year.
Johnny Reed, who runs the reed shop, actually was like, "Hey, I have an idea."
Yeah.
These giant goats aren't free, though. As I said, they cost about $10,000 to put up. And after building the goats for the last almost 5 years, the tradesmen of Yavle, who originally put up the goats, decided in 1971 they weren't going to build the goat anymore. And so they didn't. It was just that simple. They just went, no, we're not going to spend $10,000 for people to burn it down.
In 6 hours, no less.
Yes, in 6 hours.
At least if it was up for a month, you might have been able to get some people to pay admission or something. Like maybe you made some money. But six hours, I would be pissed.
I would feel the exact same way. So the mantle of goat builder was passed on to the Natural Science Society of Vasaskalowen, is what I'm going to go with that, who decided to build a tiny goat made out of straw that wasn't burned, which is good, but it was smashed to pieces, so that's not so good.
Oh! They didn't even try ours this time. They're just like, all right, gotta get this thing down one way or another.
Lexi, are you asking why?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Some people just really want to shit in other people's Cheerios. Like, what is this?
Hi there, Battle Bus. Hello.
Battle Bus is also mad.
Battle Bus is very upset about the tiny goat being crushed. But, so in 1972, so this kind of continues a trend. The tradesmen of Yavle didn't build the very large one for a while, so the Natural Science Society built a small one over many years until eventually the tradesmen of Yavle picked it back up. So in 1972, the goat, quote, imploded due to sabotage, is all that the Yavle website says.
Imploded?
Imploded.
Imploded due to sabotage.
Were they trying to like glitter bomb the person that tried to like burn it down, like to where if they touched a certain part, just glitter shot out or something?
I have no idea. But I couldn't. This is why when I started this, I was like, okay, I could probably talk about they burned it down a couple of years here and there and stuff. But then hearing stuff like it imploded due to sabotage, I'm like, no. I'm going to go through this year by year.
Yeah, what does that even mean? Does that mean that the maker of it, like, intended for it to implode?
I'm not sure. Again,
maybe?
The Yavlebakken website is not very good about telling, like, it's like a sentence if they don't have much information, and then like you'll hear up here shortly. There are just some years where they don't know what happened to it.
Well, that part I would understand if they're just like, hey, it burned down and we didn't figure out who did it, or we didn't figure out like what they used to burn it down. But when they're saying that it imploded from sabotage,
sabotage implies it was like an inside job.
Yeah,
like
you're gonna need to back that one up. I'm gonna need to see some facts on that one.
So if you go back to 1972 in Yavle, Sweden, then you can learn about it that way, honey.
Oh, okay.
All right, road trip.
Road trip. Time machine road trip.
My Doctor Who episode will be that.
That's that one. So
finding out what happened to the Yavle goat, just with the 700th Doctor.
He's just like, huh. Yeah, it did implode due to sabotage. Like, that's just all that he said.
That's just it. That's the whole episode.
And he
that's
just
weird.
beams away.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Damn,
all right, bye.
Australian, but close enough. We're doing great.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not. I don't accent.
You don't accent.
Nah.
So while the Yavle website says that in 1973 the goat, quote, faced an uncertain destiny, another source, yes, so that's what I'm saying. Like they just go,
wow.
That was their exact quote.
That's how it's written on the official website. It's amazing.
It faced an uncertain destiny. Like, okay, it's not that important.
Is it an anime protagonist? What the hell?
Exactly. Another source says that the goat was actually stolen by a local and placed in his backyard.
Okay.
Where it was
how would
They
he
moved
move it?
a 3-ton goat to
Well,
his
remember-
backyard.
Remember, this is the smaller goat that the Science Society put together. So
Oh.
Oh, right.
Okay,
I think this one was about like 4 to 5 feet tall, so it's not very tall.
okay. You could load that up in your truck and just be like, bye. Okay.
Yes. Where, of course, it was eventually found, and he was actually sentenced to 2 years in prison for aggravated theft.
Oh
So-
my god.
Oh,
Okay, so
aggravated
he-
theft. Oh my god.
4 times the sentence to
Wow.
the guy who burned it down, yes!
He took it to put it in his yard and he got 2 years, whereas people that burned it that could have caused even more issues by fire spreading, they get 6 months.
Yes.
To be fair, the charge said aggravated theft, so I'm wondering if
Did he
like
punch
people
somebody?
were trying to stop him.
Don't
and
steal
he was
it.
just like
Don't
punching
steal it!
them.
Throwing hands over the Yevla goat.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably where most of the time when it came from, if that's what happened.
He's like,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna steal that
goodness.
goat if it's the last thing I do. Just getting really upset
Oh
about
my
it.
god.
Oh
So,
Lord.
1974, another person decided to burn this perfectly lightable goat ablaze, and they say they don't know much more than that. In 1975, the goat faced yet another year of uncertainty, according to the Yavla website.
Oh, rip.
But another source says that it actually collapsed under its own weight. So they must not be that good at making the goats like be able to stand on their
Wow.
own 4 legs. So
Man, they don't make goats like they used to.
they really don't. All it takes is like almost 10 years, and they just forgot how to make goats. It's crazy.
Right.
Wow.
So 1976 is one of my favorite years for this simple fact. So in 1976, the goat was not burned, sadly, but the goat was rammed by what was described as a, quote, greaser car.
Excuse me? The goat got rammed?
The goat got rammed by a greaser car. And if you would like to look it up, it is for the viewers and for my co-host,
Like-
the Volvo Amazon was the type of vehicle. And I didn't,
Volvo Amazon.
and I
Okay.
didn't know that Volvo made a greaser car, but when I looked up images of it, it definitely looks like a greaser car. Like
What? Volvo what?
Volvo Amazon.
Man, I love that website.
Yeah. Can't believe Volvo created Amazon.
They
They
did.
actually grew Jeff Bezos in a test tube.
I didn't know that.
Dang, that's a nice car, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, hopefully the car wasn't that damaged. I mean, the goat's like whatever, but the car is...
I mean, if it was just straw, the car was probably fine. Just probably maybe like had straw in the grill
But the car apparently hit the legs and it was toppled over and destroyed. So,
on
Oh.
purpose.
well, yes, very much
Oh,
on
okay.
purpose.
I mean, it's a greaser car, so, they probably did it with intent to look cool.
Yeah, you know those
Yo.
greaser Swedes. Just
Yeah, watch me ram into this goat real quick.
yeah. So in 1977, the Yavla Goat website says that, or the Yavla website says that the goat faced an uncertain fate, but it is also believed that it burned down. That's usually the guess if they don't know exactly what happened to it.
Right.
In 1978, the goat was once again smashed to pieces by ruffians, but this would also
What
be
did Attila the Hun come in and like what?
No, I
by
just think a bunch
ruffians?
of like teenagers or like young adults went like, we're gonna go break the goat, and then they just
Oh
beat
my
it to death.
goodness. Man, why didn't they do this in Back to the Future?
Why didn't they do
Honestly,
what?
that would be...
Marty, we gotta save the Yevla goat.
we gotta save the Yevla goat! Marty!
Marty! But now would also be a good time to mention that there have been no additional fixes, security measures, or improvements to the goat in the last like almost 10 years to stop people from breaking the goat. Such as
Between
if
like 1960 and 1970, something.
19 like when they added the single fence in 1967 or 68,
Okay,
I think.
so they had never tried a deterrent after that,
No. Like
up until
one,
this point.
no. But even this year they hadn't, because like you could then just again, oh hey, let's make
Like straight up, they've done nothing since.
no. They
Wow.
hadn't done anything since that year because again it stopped being hosted by the Merchant Society and was by this like School of Science.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're not going to put a bunch of money and time and effort into it.
Well, if it's
um,
only 4 feet as opposed to 42 or whatever it was, I could understand that too.
Yes. But some of the people thought that you could easily cover it in like some water and ice to make the the straw less flammable. Some people mentioned
Oh.
using some like flame retardant materials and stuff like that just to try to like slow it down from burning so it wouldn't like go up in a spectacular fire. But
Yeah.
no, they just decided not to do that. But this next one is very good. In 1979, someone was able to burn down the Yavla goat before it was even put up. Before it had even finished construction.
Okay, now that sounds like sabotage. That sounds like some insider info.
So it does take about 2 days to put this goat up, by the way, is what the website says. Is that it
How?
can take. Girl, it's huge.
The 4
Yeah,
foot
I'm-
goat?
But that's still like, I don't know about the 4 foot like that speed, but they'd say that like before it even
then, if
finished.
they're like bundling all the straw and everything together to make it look like presentable, like that would take some time to
Right,
craft.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that they assembled each piece like independently, so trying to assemble it to look like
Especially
the
this is back
goat.
in like the 70s, so they probably didn't
Okay.
have like anything super technical.
I thought it was more
That would do
so
that.
now that it had been assembled, them like putting it out wherever they displayed it. I'm like, that takes 2 days, but okay. Is assembling it probably took that time as well.
Yes, the assembly is part of that. And the city actually had a tradition that if the goat is burned down before December 13th, which is a what the heck is their name? Saint like Luca? Saint something like that day? Saint Lucy, that's her name, sorry. Saint Lucy Day is a feast day in Sweden on December 13th, and so if the goat is burned
Oh.
down before December 13th, they will remake the goat.
Oh,
This year, because it was burned down within seemingly hours or before it even was finished putting up, they decided to rebuild the goat, and they did. And this is why I mentioned the thing about them not doing any additional measures. They decided to drench this goat in a flame retardant material. Somehow nobody had thought of this up until now. So they got the second goat up, and that one was also burned and destroyed.
Wait, so wait, how?
Yes, Eric, you
What
heard
kind of
that
material
right.
did they use? That was-
I don't know what you put on straw to make it not burnable, but even with coating this thing in it, it's
that
still
wasn't
burned
flame
down.
retardant at all. That was.
It did not do its job.
okay. I'm more stuck on the fact that this was at some sort of science school and they hadn't thought to like cover the straw or like soak the straw in any sort of
Yep.
something.
Lexi, you're absolutely right. They just
Because like
keep
if it
on-
was just the merchant place or whatever of like, oh yeah, we're gonna get someone to make us a goat and like
and we're gonna put it in town square or whatever.
yeah, like okay, you're probably not thinking about that, but a science school, pretty sure they got chemistry there.
You're gonna hear this later, is one year they decided, why don't we just sit there and spray it with water? Because it's Sweden and it'll freeze and it'll be almost impossible to burn
my
down.
God.
But that's not until like the mid 2000s or 2010s, I think. Like it took them that
Wow.
long. In 1980, the goat was burned down again, very quick on that one. And for the first time in over a decade, the goat survived the year of 1981.
Whoa.
Woo! Go W.
Goat W.
Let's go.
Did they do anything special that year? Or did they just
The Yavla website even says "survived" with an exclamation point, like
Oh
to
my
show
God.
to like say how well that it did.
You could say
We
that
did
goat
it.
was the goat.
It's the goat, but that's very
Oh
true.
my gosh.
In,
Survived, smiley face.
that's what it feels like. In 1982, it was burned down on December 13th, so they didn't build another one.
I was going to ask about that. Like, what if the date had just shifted over and like not even an hour into December 13th if someone burned it down?
I think it'd be up to local discretion if they're like, man, we have all this extra straw. Let's go ahead
yeah.
and do that. But
Yeah.
in 1983, Yavla says his legs were destroyed, and that's it. So I'm not really sure
Oh.
what that means.
What
Oh,
did they just
that's
leave?
okay.
Was it just like a goat loaf? It was just sat on the ground, just without legs.
Aw, a goat loaf. That's so cute. I
I'm not
like
sh-
that.
I'm not sure if that meant like only 2 of the legs, or if somebody went through and methodically broke all 4 legs and it was just a loaf, but that's all that it says on their website. So
Cute.
But
All right.
in 1984, it burned down on December 12th, so they rebuilt it. Just a quick one on that. And in 1985, for the first time in a very long time, they decided to put up a 2-meter high fence and even paid security detail and soldiers from the
goodness.
local infantry division to guard the goat.
They're like, listen,
Oh, they mean business.
George Orwell warned us about 1984. We're going to be prepared in 1985.
1985, we're there.
He just slightly missed the mark.
They missed it by just a year, and then also they
No, I'm
missed.
saying like he warned them about that year, so they were like,
True.
after that, we're gonna hype up security.
Even though they missed that mark, Lexi, the goat did burn down in January. So even though they had security details, a 2-meter high fence, and infantrymen, it still burned down.
Okay, so also, if the goat doesn't get burned down, when do they take this down?
Sometime in January. Sometimes they will take it into storage like pretty quickly after, depending on the status of it. Like if it's
okay.
held together well. Other times we'll get into it. They'll actually transport the goat to other places to like, hey, we're gonna take it to Stockholm, or like when do they send it to I think,
Secret
China?
location.
Well, yeah, but 1985 didn't work because it got burned down, even with infantrymen guarding it. And in 1986, the tradesmen of Yavle decided that they had had enough of a break from the goat game and decided to build the giant goat again. So the 40-foot tall one is back.
Oh, gosh.
And this is important.
As if they could keep the small goats alive. We should try to build the big one again.
Entice even more arsonists. Yes, absolutely. But this is important because from this point on, there are 2 Yavle goats every year. One giant one built by the tradesmen, and one smaller one built by the Natural Science Society. The giant goat made by the tradesmen was burned down on Christmas Eve that year, though. So the small one, I believe, survived in 1986. But
also, I want to issue a correction. I thought it was a science school. I didn't know it was just a science society. So
it's both. So you're good.
Never mind.
Because at some point later, they say that the students helped build it in some random year. So again, I don't really know. I'm not from Sweden. I'm not from Yavle myself, but they do mention that.
Okay,
but,
I retract my retraction.
Okay. In 1987, I'm going to just say this direct quote from the website. They make it known that, quote, the goat was heavily impregnated with flame retardants, end quote.
Whoa.
So, I don't know what that means. But they were like,
that's a lot.
We ain't going to let this goat burn.
Maybe like, yeah, I don't even know.
But even with that, the goat still burned down in 1987.
You know, the other thing is, are they telling people this? Like, are they saying, this goat has a lot of materials in it, so then people are like, hell yeah, that's a challenge.
Lexi, I will help you. So most like, if you're looking at the one right now, that live stream, if you still have it up, I don't believe that goat is covered in the retardants.
Yeah.
But like, because some people in the town don't like it because it makes the goat look more brown. And some people say that it looks more like a giant dog than a goat. So that's important to mention. So they might be like, why does this goat look weird? Like, so. But 1987 came and went. And 1988 was actually a big year for gamblers. Because let's go, Eric.
Let's go gambling.
Because you could actually gamble whether you thought the goat would burn or not with English bookies. So you could put a bet down on whether it survived or not.
Oh no.
And the gamblers must have paid for extra security that year because the goat survived! Exclamation point on the Yavle website.
Dude, that'd be a massive payout.
Exactly.
Yeah, get people to gamble on it and then it'll be safe.
It'll be safe, yes. In 1989, the goat was once again burned down before construction was even finished. And the public raised money to create another goat, which was subsequently burned down in January, as well as a third goat was created for a Swedish... The third goat, though, was made for the Swedish movie called Blackjack, which has a very small stub on Wikipedia that its only notable thing is that it has the Yavle goat in it. So that's about
my
it.
Goodness.
But in 1990, things are turning around for the goat. This year, the goat was guarded by volunteers and actually survived the holiday season once again. So another survival for the goat in 1990.
That's crazy. The year they pay people to watch it, it gets burned down. And the year that people just volunteer to keep an eye on it, they're like, yeah, they all right.
This thing's going to live, absolutely.
Yeah.
But 1991 is a very odd year. The goat was constructed and accompanied by an advertising sleigh, which might be the most Swedish statement I've ever heard in my life.
Sleigh. Go buy Christmas presents.
Sleigh, yes. But the sleigh ended up being illegal somehow. I thought I should mention that because I don't know how an advertising sleigh is illegal unless somebody like snuck in and was like, "Hey, this is for the Yavla goat. Put this next to it," and then just left without actually getting any like documentation. Probably is more than likely what happened. But the goat was burned down on Christmas Eve before being rebuilt and shipped off to Stockholm as a campaign to help keep the local infantry division, who had helped defend the goats in years past unsuccessfully. So I don't know.
So the thing they unsuccessfully tried to protect,
Yes.
they got a version of that
And shipped it to Stockholm, yes.
to some of the officers that were protecting the goat that burned.
No, it was basically like a publicity stunt of like, here, we're going to ship this to
Sorry,
you.
you failed at your job.
No, honey, no. The Yavla goat is like, biggest thing that you'll know Yavla for, of course, is the Yavla goat. And so they wanted to keep the Yavla like infantry division like to help like keep them funded and keep them like around. So they sent that to Stockholm to try to raise awareness to like keep them around, which I don't think worked. So
Oh, okay. It was more of like a campaign.
yes, it was a campaign. In 1992, it was a big year for goat burning. The big goat.
All right.
The big
Nice.
goat was burned within 8 days of it being constructed, as well as the small goat was burned. And then after the goat was rebuilt, the new goat was then burned down on the 20th of December, all by the same guy. It was the same guy for all three.
What year was this?
1992.
The same guy burnt down
All
three goats.
3 goats. And they arrested
That's
him.
Where's this
commitment.
man's prison sentence?
Here's
Did
the
he
thing.
get 6 months for each goat?
I think he probably did, because I know most of the time you have to not just pay or like go to jail or prison for it, but then you have to pay for the damages too. So if he did all 3, he probably had a very large fine and had prison time. So,
Wow.
but in 1993, the goat broke the Guinness World Record for largest goat. I guess I don't really know.
As if that was hotly contested.
It was not.
I mean, it is Guinness, you know.
But the thing about it is, here's the little sneaky bit that I forgot to mention, is that it was not the normal large goat that the merchants normally put up, but the scientists, they were the ones that wanted to break the world record. So I think they had a 46-foot tall goat that year. So they wanted to beat it, to be like, haha, we beat you. So they did. But in the end, both goats survived. In 1994, for the first time since 1968, the goat survived for 2 years in a row.
Whoa.
So
That's because it had a Guinness World Record.
yeah,
They're like, we won't touch that king.
absolutely.
Not for now.
For now, until we get there. In 1995, the goat burned down. In 1996 was the first year that the goat was actually guarded by webcam. This is not a public webcam, but I think just like local,
Like CCTV type stuff. Okay.
But it must have been a very good webcam because it survived in 1996.
Ooh.
In 1997, both goats were attacked with fireworks, so which caused damage, but both ended up surviving. They just survived with some scorch marks.
How do we
and stuff
know
like
that because there's 2 goats that they're not just pitting each other against each other and burning each other's goats?
It's like a turf war for the goats.
Yeah, it's like West Side Story, but goats.
Lexi, you're really, really funny, and you're always close to something whenever you mention one of these jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
So I mentioned that the Natural Science Club and the Merchant Society were like not exactly at odds, but they were trying to like one up each other with different goats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They would put up certain things to like mess with each other and stuff like that. And one of the ones that I remember pulling up was that the Natural Science Club put up a sign near their goat wishing a very Merry Christmas to everyone except the Southern merchants, is what one of the...
Oh my goodness. Petty.
It's very petty.
Merry Christmas, everybody except you. Not you.
So, that's absolutely what ended up happening. But in 1998, a major blizzard actually went to the town of Yevla and hit the area, and you'll never guess what happened.
The goat froze.
The goat was burned down in the middle of the blizzard.
Huh.
Wow.
They fell for the old fire and a blizzard trick, is what I wrote down in my notes.
I mean, yeah, blizzard, perfect time for a fire, evidently.
It is. It helps keep you warm. So,
Oh my goodness.
in 1999, the goat burned down within hours of it being put up. In 2000, we have another burnt goat. And in 2001, for the first time, an
The
American...
goat was hit by a plane. No, okay, sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. You might want to take that out. That's a little bit, that's very insensitive. I'm so sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's
so
also
sorry.
really funny.
It's really funny.
Okay, you can leave
It
it
is-
in, but I would like to issue an apology because
Okay.
Lexi's
It's
going
like
to give
immediate apology.
no,
There we go.
I'm very sorry.
Lexi's giving a
September
30-minute...
11th. September 11th was not funny. I apologize.
There
Lex,
you go.
Lex is
Sorry.
giving a
You got it.
30-minute written apology to anybody that's offended.
Yeah.
So, but in 2001, for the first time, an American from Cleveland, Ohio, burned down the goat and was arrested
Oh.
for 18 days and charged with a 100,000 krona fine.
Okay, that
Only-
is really weird that that's the first year an American.
That's
did,
why
though.
I mentioned that.
Okay, so
Oh, God.
that's really
Yeah.
weird.
It's extremely because I'm like, oh, I could absolutely see just an American being like, I'm gonna burn that.
This is
down.
funny.
Yeah. So, the best part though you're missing out on, Lexi, is that the American was then released and fled the country without paying. So,
Well, duh.
exactly.
Still very American.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But his defense apparently was that he thought that he was partaking in a tradition, not committing arson was his defense in court.
What?
You know,
Lexi's
I
like,
mean, at this
fact-
point, it kind of is tradition.
yeah.
You
the
know,
fact
like
that
you can
the
make an
goat
argument
has
for that.
burned down so much. I could see how if you are not from that town and you're not from, like, you don't know anything about it. If you're like, man, all these ways they burn down the goat, you could mistake that for like, hey, somebody goes and burns the goat.
it
I don't
burned,
know.
It's burned down much more than it has survived by a
Yeah.
wide margin.
Yes. I mean, do I think that that guy was just bullshitting? Absolutely. But I also plausible deniability.
Yeah, like I could see a lawyer like taking his case and running with that
Yes,
argument.
yes.
And, like
He's like-
maybe not getting laughed out of the
He
courtroom.
doesn't even know Swedish, Your
He,
Honor.
he was drunk and he's American. They're like, all right.
They're like, yeah, he's stupid. Let him go.
Exactly. But there's a quick streak here of not much happening. In 2002, no burned goat. 2003, a burnt goat, but they rebuilt him. 2004 and 5, they burnt the goat once again. In 2006, the website makes it very clear that the goat was attacked by a, quote, pyromaniac, but survived the
As
night.
Okay.
opposed to the previous years where
I don't know. They just actively mentioned a pyromaniac in 2006.
Just
was
casually
he
drop
just,
that.
yeah, he was just wearing a shirt that says, hello, I am a pyromaniac.
Hi.
What if he was just like decked out in like full like pyro gear from
Like,
TF2?
that
Like
was
he had
it.
the gas mask on.
was-
He had like the flamethrower.
Oh my gosh.
rolls up with the flamethrower. Absolutely, that's what happened. But the goat was only scorched on his right leg and ended up surviving, at least that year.
Okay.
Um,
Wait, the year that he was attacked by a pyromaniac,
Yes,
only
he
his
lived.
leg burned?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so what does that make the other people? What
Arsonist. Those are different. There's a difference between
Oh,
an arsonist
okay.
and a pyromaniac.
pyromaniac's just like, okay, buddy. Arsonist, like, you go to jail.
Yes, that's the total
Oh,
difference.
okay. All right.
But 2007, they once again decided to drench the goat in flame retardant materials, and he survived in 2007. In 2008, they decided against the flame retardant materials because it made the goat look brown, they said, and subsequently the goat was burned down. So
So it did survive in 2007.
it survived in 2007, the year that they drenched it in the materials,
Okay.
yes.
And the next year they're like, it looked ugly, so it got burned down.
And then it got burned down because they didn't drench it in the
Okay.
stuff. Yes. Oh, it's so good. In 2009, this could straight up be a plot of a film, and I'm not even joking. The webcams that watched the goat were hacked and DDoSed in a coordinated attack on the goat. As while the webcams were down, the goat was burned and the identities were never discovered of who had burned down the goat.
What the hell kind of prison break stuff
Let's
is that?
go.
It's so metal.
Jesus Christ,
We
is
have-
Jason Bourne.
We need to pitch that idea to some of the people that we work with, Gurdon.
Absolutely, we do.
Go look at
Hey.
Emily Goat biopic and
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Like, you
focus
guys
on
make
that.
thriller movies. Yeah, we got one for you.
Yeah.
Let's go. Perfect pitch.
Absolutely.
What did this goat ever do to people? Holy hell.
Lexi, it's why
Exist and be flammable.
it's the most flammable thing you could think of on Earth.
Leave Yevla goat alone. Oh my gosh.
It knows what it did, Lexi.
Or however you say that. We're probably butchering that.
We're
but
American. It's fine.
I feel like we're saying it different every single time, and none of them are correct.
I'm very
the
sorry.
gavel goat. We can do it the most American.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
say
The
gavel goat.
Yevla goat.
There you go.
Give le goat. Yeah.
Yeah, be French.
Oh my goodness. So, I know we just had the best year of 2009 whenever, this one is actually straight out of a movie. In 2010, the goat remained unharmed, but a guard was offered 50,000 krona, which is about 5,000, about 5,000 USD, to leave his station so that the goat could be stolen with a helicopter and transported to Stockholm. And this is confirmed by multiple sources, including the Yavla website themselves.
Oh
Why?
my! So it's a straight up heist.
It's a straight up heist.
Now it's a straight up heist movie.
Oh,
okay.
So the title of the movie is Goat Heist. Okay, gotcha.
Goat heist. Yes. A goated heist, if you will.
Oh, that's so good. A goat
Let's go.
heist.
Mission Goat Possible.
I was gonna mention this later, but I'll mention it now. You can actually go to the Yavla website and purchase items because they have a Yavla goat store. And they sell sweaters that look very, very, very comfortable, by the way. They sell a sweater that has it on fire. You can also buy a Yavla goat
my
plushie.
goodness.
Aww.
And then there's also a sweater with a helicopter stealing the goat.
Oh my goodness. When I clicked on the website, it says, live burning alert. Get notified if the goat is burning. You put in your email.
You can sign up for email alerts if it burns down.
Oh my
Kidnapped
goodness.
knitted sweater. Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Gert,
It's
if
only
you wanna-
$120
Gert, if
Canadian.
you
I might have
want
to
to
cop
make
a
a
new
dumb
fit.
purchase, that one's kind of funny,
I'm
actually.
gonna do it. But so thank you, Open Mind 8617 again, because this is the gift that keeps on giving. Is what all I'm saying.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. But yes, somebody attempted or tried to plan a heist to steal this giant 3-ton goat with a helicopter. So
As if the air traffic control or whatever the Swedish equivalent to that is wouldn't see that and go, excuse me?
why is there a giant goat flying through the air?
Yeah.
I figure that'd be kind of hard to miss.
Yeah.
I think so too. So in 2011, someone finally had the idea of why not just coat the goat in water so it freezes and makes it much harder to burn that I mentioned earlier, right?
But will
And-
it stay frozen?
In Sweden, let me look up what the temperature is right now.
Yeah, my gut's telling me it would because it's Sweden, but I don't exactly know how cold it gets.
It
in
is
Sweden.
currently 38 degrees, so no, it would not stay totally frozen. But I mean,
Yeah.
if it was like, this is also what they considered a warmer season for Sweden, because the next
Oh, I
line
bet.
of my draft is that the plan almost worked to have the goat frozen, but it was an abnormally warm year, so all the ice melted and the goat was burnt to a crisp. So
That makes sense. Yeah.
This is why global warming is bad. We gotta save the Yevla goat.
yes. And this year is the very first year that there's actually video footage of the goat burning down. So I'm sending
Oh my
this to
goodness.
I'm sending this to the call right now. But there's video footage of
In
every
2011.
of 11.
Yo!
And every years after 2011, every single time the goat has burned down, there is video footage of it. So
Oh, okay. So starting in 2011, we have
Yes.
video of all the burnings.
there's
Okay.
video
Oh, you
of
can even, it's like a time
It's a
lapse.
time
You can actually
lapse.
see the frame.
It's-
They can actually see the frame where someone goes up and lights it on
it's
fire.
so good.
Oh my god.
At exactly 2:49 a.m. This
Exactly.
dude rolls up.
So if you want to watch just these giant goats get burnt down, you can do that. In 2012, the goat burned down again, and of course there's video footage. 2013 burnt down, there's video footage. In 2014, they were on their A game, as 3 separate arson attempts were made on the goat, all of which failed, so the large goat survived, while the smaller goat collapsed for some reason. So I don't even think that was related
What?
to the arson.
Till I collapse.
Exactly.
Oh my
Till
god.
I collapse and spit in these rap. Sorry.
You're good, Eminem. It's fine. Thank you for coming on the
Yo.
show, by the way, this week.
Ain't no problem, G. I don't think he talks like that.
It made sense. I am Gurdon, so it makes sense.
True.
Eminem and I share the same hometown, so Shout out.
Spoiler!
Pog.
Now they know where you live.
Don't
I'm
get
kidding.
dogs. I don't live there anymore. So that was my
Double
hometown.
spoiler! Now they. I'm just kidding.
What?
Now they know you don't live there.
No.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
In 2015, the goat was burned down once again, and they caught the perp with a singed face and smelling like gasoline, so he was caught on extremely red-handed.
That's some Home Alone stuff.
It sounds super Home Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, in 2016, to celebrate the 50th anniversary, yes, 50 years of this goat basically burning down.
50 years of goat.
Tom Scott of YouTube fame made a video
Oh,
about
Tom Scott?
Tom Scott, yes.
Yeah,
Sad.
different dude.
I was
Tom-
He
thinking
does
of
like
AS
educational kind of
I was
videos where he
thinking
like,
of
goes around the world and
ASDF
stuff.
movies. So,
No, dear,
okay.
not that. Tom Scott of YouTube fame, he used to make an educational video about once a week. He made a lot of content. But he made a video about the goat and its history on its birthday party. They actually threw a birthday party for the goat.
Aw.
And yet, mere hours after Tom Scott recorded the video, the goat was burned down with gasoline. And not just
Shocker.
that, not just that, they replaced the big goat with the small goat from the science students at Vasikalawan, which was then hit by a car that drove through the fence. And like I said, there's footage of this. So not only is there video footage of the goat in 2016 burning down, but there is video footage of the goat getting hit by a car, and it's
Oh
I
my
gotta see
goodness.
this. I gotta see this.
live Eric
goodness.
reaction right here
Yeah.
live.
Let's see. Okay, hold on. All right. 5. I'll make market. Oh!
Oh my goodness.
It's so good. It's just a tiny
Go
little
get hit by a
Damn.
car. I just
It's like, it's kind of hard to tell with the time lapse, but it looks like it comes in from the left and he just swerves and hits the
Yo,
goat.
it's just straight through the fence too. Like that's what.
oh my goodness.
Like I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna spend one day, and even if I spend the next 6 months in jail, I'm killing that goat.
He had a mission.
So
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, they definitely meant to hit that. I watched that in 0.25 speed. That was they curved that car around. Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. So now we're hitting the very modern times when it comes to the GOAT. From 2017 to 2020, they really stepped up their game after the double attacks on the GOAT in 2016. As from 2017 to 2020, the longest stretch, mind you, that is only 4 years of over this almost 60-year-long venture without the GOAT being destroyed or burned. And over the
Wow.
time in 2017 and 2020, they added a double fence, so they doubled up the fence. They have 24-hour cameras, not just webcams, but actual like CCTV cameras guarding the GOAT. They have they pay guards that are also 24-hour guards, a canine unit, and in 2020 the first public webcam feed was then put up online. So they really went, we're going to defend this goat.
Yeah. They were also trying to maybe add an element of public shaming of like, hey, this is live
Shaming.
at all
Shaming.
times.
Lexi.
I mean, they probably thought it'd be shaming. I'm pretty sure everyone regards them as heroes.
Probably.
They carry him to like Valhalla for doing that. Thank you, random
Careful,
goat
he's
burner.
a hero.
Careful, he's a, yes, I couldn't think of it.
Yev Paula.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
In 2021, though, somebody broke through and an arsonist with a dream stepped up and burned the goat once again. And that is currently the last burning of the Yavla goat, but it's not the last year that the goat died.
Oh.
In 2022, the goat survived with no injuries. But in 2023, last year, if you're listening to this before or whatever, the goat
In 2023.
in 2023, the goat was made with straw that had lots of seeds in it for some reason. Like I think they got low quality straw to try to make it like cheaper, so they wouldn't
Okay.
spend over 10,000 krona every single year doing this. So the local jackdaws, which are a type of bird, slowly over the entire month picked and slowly ate the entire goat.
Oh no.
And
Death by birds.
death by 1,000 birds. I don't know if they have video footage of that one. There's a short of that one of I think the slow goat death. If you want to click on that link
Oh
and
my
put that up.
goodness.
But yeah, it just starts out like a normal looking Yavla goat, and then just by the end of the month, it's just bare bones because it just got
Yeah, you can just see.
It's
Yeah, you
just-
can see it's like body just sticking
Wow.
out.
it's just slowly.
So do we have a Yevla goat for this year?
There is indeed a Yevla goat for this year. I believe Eric has been watching the stream this entire time. Is it still up, Eric?
I did. I don't have it up
Oh.
currently. I can reopen it though.
If it
Hold
burned
on.
down in the middle of this
Let's see.
recording, that
if it
would
burns down during the podcast recording, okay,
That's
it's still up.
amazing.
It is
Okay.
not burned down yet.
it is still up as of recording. Not gonna
But
date
we'll
the
have to check on that.
yeah. If the stream
Yes.
is still up, you
I will
can.
genuinely. I'm gonna keep an eye on this, and if it burns down this year, I will add like an editor's note, be like, it actually burned
burned
down,
down.
or like this happened.
Please do,
It's been over
yes.
5 years. Let's see if it happens.
Yes.
Wow.
But you can currently watch the beautiful unburned goat for 24 hours with some lo-fi Christmas music. And like I mentioned earlier about if you're wondering why there's a giant censor bar over a third of the screen, that's the Swedish privacy laws. So don't just be confused. There is a guard that walks past the goat occasionally, and the live stream has taken to name him Jeff, just J-E with the little umlauts FF. That's his name.
Oh, his name is Jeff.
His name is Jeff.
His
And
name is Jeff. Jeff.
they have planned it that if a snowstorm comes through and the guard has to leave, they are going to strike then. So if that happens,
Oh,
you'll know.
No.
But
wait, the guards are gonna strike?
no, the guards are stationed there 24 hours a day,
excuse
right?
me, sorry.
But
The
if they-
arsonists are gonna strike.
Yes. So the guards are stationed
Oh.
there 24 hours a day, but they have said that if a snowstorm, not just snow, because it snows like crazy in Sweden,
Right.
but if a
Like
snowstorm,
actual dangerous conditions.
yes, then the guard will leave, and that's whenever the chat has decided they'll strike. So
Well, does the chat even live in Sweden?
probably not. Probably one or
Yeah.
two people that are watching that stream live in Sweden. But and one final quick note: an IKEA in Iceland. Also,
I was gonna say, does IKEA sell a Yevla goat? Because I need one now.
They might. I don't know about specifically here in the U.S. or if in Sweden, but in Iceland, an IKEA decided that they wanted to do their own Yule goat tradition as well for Christmas. So they started constructing their own goats made out of straw, and they've had a lot of the same issues with multiple goats being burned, destroyed, and my favorite, a Facebook event with over 5,000 people saying they're going to burn down the goat. So
Facebook events. That's a throwback.
that's a very
goodness.
big event. And that is the story of the goat that has burned down 42 of the last 58 years.
Oh my goodness.
It's like over 2/3 of the time, I think. Yeah.
It's
Wow.
so good. As soon as, again, I have to give a huge thank you to Open Mind 8617 for that, because I had not heard of this story, and I hope it sounds like neither of you two had either, but
No, I had not.
No, yeah. I mean, I think I got that Tom Scott video in my recommended at one point, but I don't remember watching it. So this was like learning all the lore has been such a trip.
I almost forgot to mention. So I don't normally tell people go watch this other person's video, but if you go to the Yavla Goat live, they made a video 7 years ago that it's a killer video because it gives you a very very quick brief history of the Yavla Goat. But it's to the tune of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra that's like dun 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 dun.
Oh
dun,
my goodness.
And it's very epic. But when they're talking about here's our nice tradition, and it's such a nice little thing. It's like that very slow part, like the very melodic part. When they finally get to the part that's like dun 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 dun, that's when they start cutting into the footage of the goat burning down, and when it got hit by a car, they used that crappy 3D effect green screen of it getting hit and stuff.
Oh my god.
It's so good. It's such a
Oh, I
good
love
video.
that. I love it.
But I love it when it's just crushed by a Volvo or whatever it says in one of them, and it's just that 3D green
I love
screen
just
effect.
1976 hit by a Volvo.
Yes.
It's like, oh my god.
It's so extra for no reason, and I love it so very much. But that is what I wanted to
2006 drunk man climbs goat. This is crazy.
It's such a good video. But if you want to look at any of this footage or learn any more about it, of course you can go directly to Yavla yourself, or you can go to the visityavla.se website and learn more about this beautiful goat and this beautiful town. It actually looks extremely pretty and very
Yeah,
welcoming.
Sweden seems cool.
So I'm going to send one more last image. Here is one of the years that the goat was put up, and they don't mess around with this thing, because this looks as though it...
Oh my goodness.
That's the level of fence that they
see.
have done.
Oh,
That's like spikes.
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know if anyone's getting in
I
that.
don't think so either.
I mean, people
Someone's gonna have to
thro-
like firebomb it. Jeez.
Yeah, I was gonna say people are gonna have to throw something at the goat. Also, though,
Yeah, they're gonna
here's
throw like
the
a
thing.
Molotov.
Why is it by a bunch of trees? That
Well,
doesn't seem like
that
a
is
good
a good
idea.
question.
It's in a town square. So at least that's my thought, is they want it to be in a very public spot. Like, they don't want to put it out in the field, because then it doesn't attract viewers to actually go to Yahoo.
No, right, but like they couldn't have moved it a little bit more towards the pavement because like that thing could set those trees on fire.
Well, again, they're trying to stop people from burning this
Well,
down.
I know their outcome is they hope that the goat stays up and doesn't get burned, but let's look at the history. So
And like
Gotta
also
plan ahead.
as we have discussed, they did build a fireplace right next to the goat. So if
True.
anything happens,
oh yeah, that's
That'll-
true. Fire station. That's true.
yeah.
Fire station came before the goat, as we know.
Absolutely. Well, that has been this episode of How Could You Forget? I want to thank my two co-hosts, Lexi and Eric, for joining me today, as well as you for joining us on this post-holiday venture to Sweden. And if you
Me.
give a huge thank you to our patrons over on patreon.com/Gurdon, as well as patreon.com/campfireharvest.
Look at all those names. Those are some
What?
good
How
names.
topical. Campfire
Those are-
harvest
Campfire
on the Yule goat.
True. Oh god, I was made for this
You
arson
were.
attempt.
Oh my gosh.
You have your passport. You know what you have to do.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I'll see you, Eric.
Woo! All right.
But thank you again for listening. Be sure, if you're listening to this on audio formats, to give us a like and recommend this to some of your friends. Recommend it to one of your friends who knows what a goat is. How about that? So,
I mean, there go all my friends.
there you go.
I don't think any of them know what goats are.
Recommend it to your Swedish friends.
Any of your Swedish
True.
friends, there you go.
All right. Thank you so much, and we got a goat.
It's not that funny. That was not that
It is
funny.
funny. It is funny, and now you have an outro, so.
Thank you.